being in that atmosphere, like like when you do a complete sweep, just like you said, you have all the confidence in the world, and when you get into the next game, your confidence is just like overbuilt, and you forget like, okay, you got to focus in because you go in with all this confidence, kind of forget your gameplay. So
yep, and it looks like we will be getting started here on Nepal. So this is going to be I believe it is a test in the middle. So it's going to be kind of like Hardpoint from Call of Duty. I know me and Zack are both COD guys.
Yeah,
so it is a little bit like COD in the sense of there will be a point in the middle, they'll fight to capture it, and the team that has it will continue to go up and up and up in terms of score. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team compositions here. For the side of Concordia, we have Ryan Hart, was McCree, but I forget his new name.
I could not tell you.
I forget it. I believe that's also Juno, and Mercy, and May. And then Neon Lights will be on the... Oh, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
I wish I could tell you.
Oh, what I will come back to it eventually, but we are off. As we are moving in, and the first contest is going to happen over toward flat side for 5v5 to start off. And I know you're a little bit new to Overwatch. From what I can remember, I can tell you that this game is all about fighting as a team, using the resources available to the whole team. And it looks like EKU is going to draw first blood, one high taking down Saknam. And that's going to propel them into ability to control the center of the map. As you can see, just like that, Concordia has pretty much backed off into their side of the map, and point control is going to go the way of EKU.
Yeah, I mean, they just completely gave it to them. And, I think that was kind of part of their strategy, though, because, I mean, they had to back up and regroup. But as EKU's holding this point, I mean, if you lose it, it's going to be hard to gain back, just because of where it's positioned in the middle of the map. So EKU's got to make sure that they don't lose this position.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of playing their life as well, even though they're getting hit with quite a lot of damage. That Reinhardt shield going down. Specifically, Torn does a great job of staying alive, and that's a great push. Wow. Reinhardt off the map. Bye-bye, Cardi. Now I think EKU is pretty much free to kind of clean this up here, at least push them back.
Yeah, I mean, they're outnumbered in top 4 right now. It's still going to be 5-4 right there with that kill. So, I mean, holding that point, still middle, and they're actually pushing into the spawn of our opposing team right here. That way they can actually cap this hard point, so to speak.
Yeah, it does look like Concordia has regrouped, but ults are starting to come into play for EKU at the top, and in general having theirs. Shobin taking a lot of damage, does manage to stay up. It's crucial that he does. Here comes the McCree ult. And that will take down Shobin with the help of Saknam. But
Concordia might actually take middle right here.
I think so. They have the numbers so far, and they will. The point will go their way.
We got EKU 69%. They're so close. They're like just capping this completely. They've got to regroup here a little bit.
Yeah, and that's going to be a team wipe for the side of EKU. So they will have to take a second, figure out how they want to approach this. But Concordia in control for the moment.
I mean, if you're EKU right here, I mean, I guess what would your strategy be to get back this point? Because, I mean, obviously they're going to hold this point pretty heavy, Concordia. And, I mean, you've got to be aggressive, but you've also got to be smart. Because you've got to keep your lives. And just like that, you're going to have 2 kills. Yeah, I know, right? And just like that, I think, and just like that, EKU's going to take back this hard point right here in the middle. And they do.
Yeah,
I think we ended up with 3 kills right here. And so it's going to hold them off pretty well. Actually give us some time to hold this point. Actually might be able to completely get it. As long as we can hold this upcoming like attack right here by Concordia.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to move fast. They don't have a lot of time to work with, but there's going to be the ult coming in from this party, and that will allow Concordia to break right back on in. They will find 3, make it 4. Neon Lights, last up, is going to drop, I believe. I mean, 50 HP, and there will go the team wipe. So that will, but the good news is that will give EKU a chance to reset, and they have the Cassidy and Kiriko ults ready to go. The problem that they're going to face with is that May ult.
I do like this play. They fake the right, and they're going to go straight to the middle to the point.
Yeah, and they will
I
be
do
able to
like
grab
this.
some space there.
And they only need 6% with this. So, I mean, if you could take it right here, that was a
There's a
great
Cassidy
play.
ult. And it will find Neon Lights. Cube will find Azatov.
They've got to make a EKU's got to make a move right here though, because they're losing time with this point.
Yeah, it's about an even game here. This is going to come down to the wire here in the first round of game number 1. That's setting us up pretty nicely for a barn burner here, Zach.
Yeah, I know. I thought EKU was going to kind of take it at the beginning with how strong they came off, but Concordia has definitely showed their side that they're going to be in this to the end.
Yeah, 6%. Gonna have to hop that point. The Maywall is gonna do a great job of separating over.
And they're gonna take it at the last percentage. Can they actually take it?
They're staying on. Ults are coming out.
Okay,
Both
EKU
ways.
takes this. They've got to take this. Oh my goodness. Can they take it?
Battle in the middle. Going overtime. Contested.
Oh my
Party
goodness.
finds one. Torn finds the trade.
EKU's got to get out.
Reds for Concordia. Here's the Reaper ult. Doesn't manage to connect with much. And it's still 2v2.
Oh,
I
it's still
think.
contested.
Oh my gosh. Chubin doing the best he can with the help of one high. It's a battle on the point, contested it remains. Two kills go through. They clean up on strategy.
Oh my god.
You winning
Wow.
overtime. A great play by Chobin in one high.
Wow. That was absolutely crazy for round 1.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, I think that's gonna tell us everything we need to know for this series. To be completely honest, it's gonna go down to the wire every single game.
Yeah. I mean, that was impressive. I will say, I was thinking the same as you. EKU had a great start, and they came out really hot, and then slowly Concordia starts pulling it back.
Yeah.
I thought for a second we were about to lose that round, but again, Chobin in one high. They make the play.
What a great hold by EKU there at the end, because there was a point where they were down to a 3 to 1 like disadvantage.
3v5, like just not with the
And
numbers.
just held it, and that was awesome, to say the least.
Here we go. Early fights. Here in the second round of Nepal.
So right here, Concordia all goes to, I guess, EKU's left side, while EKU actually comes into this point split, being on left and right, and kind of in the middle as well. I don't know if that's going to hurt EKU in the long run, or...
I think right now their goal is to control a lot of the health packs while the countdown to the active point was, but eventually they do drop Torn, so they relinquish quite a bit of map control here in the beginning just to make sure they don't lose so much pressure here early on. And a battle going to be happening on the close left for EKU. That May wall can be so destructive in terms of separating teams. Early push back in, damage going back and forth, they're fighting their way out. Going back and forth. Here comes the Doomfist. Finds one onto Strategist.
Almost found 2. Almost had 2 there. Almost had 2 there as well. EKU's gonna have to start making some type of play on this point though.
Oh, and what a flank!
Ooh, love that flank right there. And I say that EKU looks like they're gonna take this point right here.
Yeah, what a great way to battle back, really. They were getting pushed up into their spawn, but they were able to slowly push out, and then Torn takes a wonderful route, really, to wrap around to grab that point control. The problem is now Torn does go down, so they're finding themselves down a number while he comes off respawn, giving Concordia a chance to really push back onto the point here.
Right. I mean, I will say I don't think EKU's too concerned, because I mean they seen this in game 1, and the same thing happened, and they found that hold this point pretty safe. And I mean now you're back into the 4v4 situation here.
Yeah, that's tough for Chobin. He overcommits, gets trapped by the Maywall, and now EKU down a tank. Can they stick it out though without him?
I was about to say that without that tank it might hurt him, but they're still getting kills right here on
The
the
Echo
point,
ult.
so they're holding it pretty well.
They're doing a great job, really. One guy takes down Strategist, Cardi on the trade. Pushes him off the map, and Chobin comes back in. Rez will come out onto Strategist, but without the tank for Concordia, this is looking like it's going to be a push off of this point. As EKU, they remain in control, they remain taking points. Concordia not willing to give up quite yet, though. Uppity and Sacknom, they stick around just enough. for the rest of the team to come back on in.
I will say EKU is definitely playing this point a little different than they did round one. Instead of actually being on point, they're gonna actually back away a little bit and just like send some warning shots because it's gonna scare Concordia really, and even try to take position.
Ult comes out from May.
And you know it's absolutely working because Concordia can't even really touch this point since the beginning of the match.
Yeah, and all this time that you're contesting, EKU is still racking up points, so this is perfectly fine in the eyes of EKU. As that's a great shot from Torn as they push Cardi all the way back.
And it looks like EKU's going to take this on. Yeah, Concordia has no shot at getting this. And EKU's going to take round 2 as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that will do it for game number 1. EKU, they win a clean couple rounds.
They sure did. And I think one thing that I'm really impressed with, especially it being game 1, is the fact that they were so calm in a situation.
Like literally right here.
Exactly. In this round 1 situation, and it's such an intense area, they stayed calm, they stayed to their abilities, and they pulled it out. And in round 2, they just had all the ease and comfort in it. And I think that's really what makes the difference in this team is being comfortable in those high intensity situations. Because if you can be comfortable and relaxed, I don't think a team can stop you.
Yeah, they did a great job of withstanding that pressure, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Like I even just thinking back to that start of that second round, they lose control of the point early. They have to reset.
Yeah.
But they do a great job of not letting Concordia pressure them in. They keep the fight up front, and eventually they're able to just push their way on out. Torn goes on a crazy flank. He finds the kills. They break on in, and then from that point, it was pretty much smooth sailing for EKU.
It was, and I think a big thing, like when you're going down and you're like losing points in that situation, I think a lot of people will instinctively you're like, oh, I've got to make a change in our game plan. And EKU really just stuck to what their game plan was going into it. And, that's what you have to do at the end of the day, especially when you're playing League. You have to go in with a game plan and stick with it. Because as soon as you divert, that's when you lose everything that you have planning and going for you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think you said it perfectly that, even in the stressful situations, no one was trying to play as an individual. No one was trying to make a hero play. Everything was coordinated, and even that play that allowed them to get back into round number 1, where they all faked right, went middle, and were able to hop on the point. Everyone played as a unit. No one tried to do anything special or flashy, and that's how they got their game number 1 win.
Exactly, and I think showing that in game 1 of week 1 is impressive, and it says a lot about this team of how their chemistry already.
Yeah.
And to me, if your chemistry is already there in week 1, who knows what's going to happen by the end of the season?
It's only going to keep improving, especially no one really talks about how important winning games is for team chemistry. Now it seems obvious when you point it out, but it could be so if you go on a downswing, it could be so hard to retain that chemistry.
Exactly.
And when you're good, you just got to ride that high, work out your communication kinks, keep everything smooth sailing, and hopefully propel EKU to a nice standing in the ECAC early on.
Exactly. I mean, we both know playing from just even leagues and ourselves. When you're in those if you're comfortable, you're feeling that high, that's when you really need to fine-tune what you're doing as a team.
Yep.
Because, in a comfortable situation, that's when you're okay, let's focus on this because this might be a weak point of our game.
Yep.
And then when you get to those high-intensity points like they had in round 1, those become really easy for them.
Yeah, and, that makes it so easy to kind of enter that flow state that everyone's kind of chasing, where you're just so locked in on what's going on. You're just cooking, just straight absolutely cooking. Now, our map number 2, we will be moving to a hybrid on Eichenwald.
Okay.
So, just for anyone that is, new to Overwatch or watching because, they're friends on the team or something like that, hybrid, capture the point first, and then you push your payload the rest of the way. So we are going to see quite a bit of stall, going into the later part of the game as the payload gets closer to the spawn. But I'm interested to see mainly how, I wonder if team comps are going to switch a lot with the switching game mode. That's something that I haven't really ever paid attention to, When I played, I just pick one age. You know, whatever hero was the one I was best at the time is just the one I was picking.
Yeah, I mean, with Overwatch being with the competitive game that it is, I think you make a great point there because like there are different modes, and it's the same way with COD, so to speak. Because whenever you have COD, let's say you got hardpoint and you say like search and destroy, you've got two different completely different mindsets in that. And we've not seen what that mindset might be like in Overwatch. COD is something that has been around for so long.
And it's so simple. It's only got 3 game modes, whereas, we were talking about it before.
This can literally be so much.
6 game modes. It's just, it goes absolutely insane. We are loading into our map number 2, Eichenwald Hybrid. And I'm excited. So far, like I said at the start of the stream and before we were talking, I played a lot in Overwatch 1 and kind of the early parts of Overwatch 2.
Gotcha.
So far, both maps we've seen are maps that I remember. I remember playing these maps. I remember playing Eichenwald. One of my, fond memories. And I'm excited to see what these teams show us for this map.
I am too. I'm real interested to see just how EKU is going to come out in a different game mode. Because we've seen them in the last game mode, how they came out. Is it going to be the same? Or are we going to see a different team and how they like their approach?
And it looks like EKU going to be on the defense early on. If I were to take a guess, they're probably going to set up on the bridge cut. So just right here, right where 1 high is. And this is pretty much the only entry point that Concordia, the offensive team, is going to have towards this site. Everything is right in that one little space, and it's a matter of battling for that control.
I gotcha.
They both fell. Beautiful.
Here we go. Concordia on the attack. And it looks like the only real change in team comp that we're seeing is Cardi's going to be on the Diva. Neon Lights opting for the Ana. And we will see Ethan Cubed on the Sombra. Early pushes are in. No one's drawn blood yet. But Concordia is taking a decent bit of space here.
They are.
They've actually worked themselves close to the point here. Chauvin gonna dive right on in. Take a few pops. And there we go. They have made contact with the point. A res comes through for Saknom. Great.
He's doing a good job of holding them in this position right here, though. They're not really getting pushed too far, I don't think. At least from my POV. I could be completely wrong.
No one has fallen for either team yet. Well, one did fall just now. Upending is going to get taken down. That's going to be the Mercy wiped off. Azatov finds his second on the Strategist. And that is surely going to put a dent in Concordia's plans.
Okay, you gotta get out of this spot. And they did. Real easy for them.
Yep. So far, so good. Really no one dropped on the side of EKU. As they have a pretty solid hold here to start us off.
They did. They really did. And I don't really see a difference in how they're playing. They're very EKU staying very coordinated. And their idea of their comms and being strong to what their game plan is. You're still seeing that here. Just really good. I like that.
Yeah, the Bob's gonna come out. That ult will do great work. Jordan's gonna be able to find Ethan.
One high's gonna take some time to heal a little bit.
Ooh, and that's good because they prevent the first tick from going. So, just to give you an explainer, if you get all the way to that tick,
right,
that progress is locked, just like in Troll.
Yeah. Okay,
and in COD. But, if they don't get all the way to that tick, you're free to wipe it off. And it was really good play from EKU to keep that locked down.
So, let's say they get to that tick. Do they get more time added to their 140, so to speak, right now?
I'm not sure if they get more time per tick. I know they'll get more time. So, no, they did not get more time, but they will get more time as soon as they capture the full point. I do know that. It looks
like they're going to take this whole point, and they do.
Yeah, a clean push finally out of Concordia. They managed to break through off the back of a crack in the armor.
So now EKU's real, your goal's got to be able to stop this payload from getting too far. Because the farther they get, the farther you're going to have to go whenever you're in your attack and face yourself.
Yep. And it's all about that time on the clock as well. If both teams reach the final zone, we will use that excess time to see how far they can get on a second playthrough. And right now, Concordia are doing a great job of taking excess space. Strategist finds one. Ethan's going to drop, though, at the hands of Shobin. And now EKU can kind of find their way back into pushing Concordia back. The problem is now, once this payload is captured, Concordia has the spawn advantage. They are going to be spawning up closer and faster to the payload than the Colonels can reallocate. Shobin trying to do his best. Unfortunately, he's going to get pushed out. But Torn, with his aimbot, is going to be able to take down 2. Flies forward for the third. Cardi's going to take a lot of that. Will he be able to find Strategist? No, he will not. But off the backs of those 2 kills, Concordia's going to have to regroup.
I got you. I will say, there's under 3 minutes here for this payload to keep moving. And with it almost being at 70 meters at itself already, that could be a little scary for, EKU whenever it gets their turn and attack it. Because, I mean, Concordia's already made a lot of distance in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, the good news, though, if they hold for 2 minutes, yeah, that would certainly be a good feat. And the good news is there are a lot of, easy choke points on this map for the defensive side. You holding on top of this bridge right here does so strong if you are the Colonels, and you can even hold it towards the back once they push closer. And right now it just looks like Concordia is very spread out, but it's working for them. They find 2, and they've got Shobin kind of entangled in a web of different heroes.
It really seems like EKU just gets spread apart. And I think that's what's really messing with them, because they started out this game real grouped. And I think that's how this team's going to play best, is if they're grouped together and going at it as a cohesive unit rather than being spread. And we see right here, we're actually in a group. And we're actually able to hold this off.
Yeah, and Torn goes on a great flank there. I mean, he's doing a lot of those tonight, I suppose, where he actually gets behind enemy lines to make something happen. And right now, it just seems like everyone is disconnected from both teams. And this is one of those places where, can you feel comfortable in the chaos like you're talking about? You could have 2 different comm sets going on about chasing 2 different players. You got to be right on top of that. And it looks like Concordia, they will find 2. They will find 3 off the backs.
And they're looking to get to the checkpoint.
Oh, but Shobin trying to hold on. Unfortunately, he will drop as well. That checkpoint will cross, but a strong hold from EKU.
That's another 2 minutes at it for Concordia to push his payload even farther, too.
The good news is that as this gets pushed farther and farther, the Colonels will have the spawn advantage. They'll be able to just flood back onto this. But the early push is coming in fast, and here is going to be the last main choke point that the Colonels plan to hold. Reinhardt's shield getting ripped through. Shobin gonna have to do a lot of managing to try to keep that up.
Yeah, EKU's gotta hold this off for another minute 40. Because after hitting this checkpoint, EKU's they're gonna have to make some substantial progress in their own attack here.
Ethan finds 2. That's going to put EKU in a tricky situation. Shobin and rebound.
They've got to get these 3 guys off of this payload.
But the rebound doesn't matter. The Mercy Res comes in. And they're past that choke point. Ult's coming all out for EKU. Torn has his aimbot. He can surely bring that out any moment. Torn will find 1. Without it, he's looking to pop it. Never mind. Shobin helps clean up. And this should be a clear out. And EKU are going to make it to the last stretch. 1 more minute remaining for Concordia to make something happen. And they are pushed up. Look at this. Take that space back. Prevent a last stand.
I think this is a great idea for EKU. You're separating them away from that payload that's already close, while you're moving the payload back. So
the hard part for Shobin is managing his shield economy. It's going to be so difficult, especially when they just out DPS you.
Just like right here.
The really good news for EKU here is that they still got another ult in hand, and no one on Concordia is really that close. The shots come through. Torn uses his aimbot. He's going to be able to find 1 there, and that's going to continue to stagger Concordia. 15 seconds left on the clock, and they are just running into their spawn.
This is crazy for me to
Down goes strategist. I mean, it's got to be a matter, and they don't have a tank either. Without of her mech, that will surely send it to round number 2.
It sure does.
That's better.
A strong showing from Eastern Kentucky so far.
Hey, we'll take that. We'll say, for EKU, you're going to have to make a lot of progress.
The good news is that they can most certainly take all the time. As long as they get to where Concordia did,
They
they
get
will...
the 60-73 on after that first checkpoint. And I will say, EKU looked like they were more together there at the very end.
Yeah.
Because obviously we saw them, I felt like just kind of break apart right there in the middle. And that's why you saw Concordia get that big push that they did.
Well, spawn advantage is so strong in this game because
That's
you know it's
very
a
true.
game all about numbers, right? And you know this from playing COD. You
Yeah.
know if you're holding the hard point and your team doesn't have spawns,
Exactly.
it's gonna be hard to keep it.
Exactly.
Kind of same thing here. If your side of the map is not close enough to the point, it can get real frustrating. I think that's why EKU did such a great job holding the first point because the spawns, even though defense on this first point is at a bit of a disadvantage, they're still close enough to make it work.
Yeah.
Once that first payload gets captured, offense has the spawn advantage until about that final stretch.
I gotcha. So it's gonna be real interesting to see what EKU comes out here. I think if they take what they had right there at the very end of round 1, honestly, I think they can push his payload all the way to the very end.
Yeah, it looks like Azatop is wanting to do something tricky. He does manage to get through the enemy lines. And this is a problem for Concordia because, even if Azatop isn't really actively doing anything, he's still a thorn in their side. And that allows Chauvin to slide in and take down Cardi. Down goes the tank. It's all about cleanup now. Down goes the Mercy. This is going to be a clean wipe here early on, I think.
I think so. And I think that's a big confidence booster for EKU too. Because, Concordia, they took a little bit of time to actually capture this point. And so EKU starting it off really strong as it is, that should give yourself a lot of confidence going into this push with this payload.
Yeah, and they're going to put one person on the payload, and then the rest go take that space. See if you can find any kills, and it doesn't look like Concordia were ready for this. Their healers are caught off guard, and down go 2. That's both of the healers gone. See you later, Ethan.
EKU's going to take a hold of this bridge.
Oh my gosh.
And if they can do that off rip, this might be a
quick game like it was.
Yes, I think, honestly, it's going pretty quick as it is.
Yeah, this is certainly beating Concordia's pace. Shots going back and forth, and like we talked about, this is the choke point that you want to hold. And right now, EKU gets another wipe. They might as well just get the tick.
Yeah, honestly. EKU hasn't been stopped from making any runs. They've only kept going with their
Gosh. And that's a clean wipe. What a synergy there. And now, look at this. They are not letting
as they should. That's what they should do.
The pressure is on, even with the team just spawning right there. And they're able to back out to regroup, to refight here on this cut.
That was a great move by KU. And you've got almost 6 minutes to keep going. You've got a lot of time, and you're already almost at the end for this payload.
Ethan will drop Torn. And the good news is we're still building up towards ults. Torn's almost got his. Azatop can get his soon enough.
I will say Concordia is very, very close for all their ults, though.
Yeah.
And that can be a big problem for EKU here in the upcoming moment.
But the problem is how do you make 5 ults last 6 minutes?
But it's not going to
Especially
matter
with all of
what
this
EKU doing
damage.
this right here.
Azatop chases down Ethan, and here comes the last wave. This is all for it. And they have not gotten rid of Azatop. He's just in their spawn doing whatever he wants. That's going to be 2. He's looking for a 3rd. The battle goes on the front.
Oh, they're contested right here at the very end. Oh, my goodness.
Ethan will find Torn. Azatop is still behind. They have not gotten rid of him.
How is this man still here? How?
He works his way back out. He's going to get a full health back. He's not died yet. Cardi does find 2 on the respawn with his ult. But like we were just talking about, how they had all 5 of their ults, all of them washed away in
Now
an
they're
instant.
gone.
And EKU on the way to 5 ults. 2 of them are already close with 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
This is crazy.
Concordia,
You got so much time here as EKU, and look at this. This damage is just absolutely crazy.
and Chauvin's in there. They take
They're
down
gonna
a bending.
they're
There
gonna
goes
get
the
one.
Mercy second.
They're gonna,
Second
they're
healer.
gonna get a second out here.
There it
There
is.
goes the tank. They're gonna get a third.
Third on the way to
Almost
the
a fourth.
fourth.
And a fifth. It's a
See you
complete
later.
team wipe.
10-player kill streak.
And that's
Light it
it.
up. Team kill.
That is game.
Wow.
That is absolutely crazy.
Talk about dominance.
Wow. EKU really just strung that all together. Whew. Wow, I did not expect that. After seeing how round 1 went and seeing just kind of like the disconnect they had for a moment, I did not expect them to completely come back and have no
And just
disconnect whatsoever.
destroy. Just straight dominance.
That's
through
that's
game
all it
number
was.
2.
It was just a complete dominance. I did not expect
From
that.
the moment the offensive round started at the top, they let him roam free for half the map. Just got between enemy lines first thing,
Yeah.
and then that just allows EKU full force to the front door, and then they just didn't stop taking space.
I think that was the biggest play for EKU because he was living rent free in their head and just getting behind them. And so now Concordia was like, oh, I gotta look behind, but I gotta look forward too. And it's like, which one do you look at?
Yeah.
Because if you're looking forward, you're gonna be dead from behind.
You and me as COD players, we know there's nothing more annoying than being like,
no.
he's in our spawn, someone go kill him, someone's got to hold an angle.
But when you
Nothing
can't,
more
when you can't kill him in your spawn, you have like no like.
annoying. You can't do
process.
anything.
No, you're stuck. And that's exactly what happened to Concordia. And EKU just kept pushing, and they knew it.
Yeah, and the amount of space that they were taking when they were pushing the payload, they did not stop. The train stopped for no one, just continuing to hammer forward. So crazy that they hammered their space all the way forward into the enemy spawn. Concordia spawned up looking at EKU, and they were still hammering it home.
There was nothing Concordia could do in that situation whatsoever. I think EKU was stopped once in that whole attacking process.
And it was right before they got
Right before, like, they were
right
literally
there.
3 meters away from winning. And that's when they were stopped.
Man.
Talk about a completely different team from round 1 to round 2.
Yeah, and like that's not even to necessarily say that like in round 1 they were doing poor.
It's not like they were doing bad.
They were doing.
They just had that
decent.
disconnect, and you could tell.
Just a couple of key areas, and they said, "All right, guys, let's just lock in the comms a little bit. Let's tweak a few things here and there.
And they did.
Let's change up the team comp a little, maybe. Figure out what we want to do here on offense." And they just hit the ground, steamroll straight through Concordia.
Exactly.
And now this is serious point here. They could win this in 3.
Exactly.
And that would be certainly a
That's
way.
some great confidence going into
enter,
week
yes.
1. Like, that's absolutely insane.
Man, oh man. It looks like we are still trying to figure out. I think players are probably taking a tiny break
I
here.
can't blame them.
I would want to take a little break too. Just a matter of, making
Just like
sure you're
resetting.
focused. Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially if you're Concordia right there, you definitely need just like to hit that reset
Yeah.
button. And I think if you're also EKU, you just went into that and you have all the confidence in the world. And like we were saying earlier, when you have too much confidence, that can absolutely kill your run.
100%.
And I think having a little bit of a break is going to keep EKU level-headed. And they're going to be like, okay, like, we're pretty dominant in this game. But, like, we've got a completely different matchup coming up. So let's refocus, let's recenter, let's calm.
Yeah.
And I think we're actually getting to game 3 right here in a moment.
We are into game 3 now. Let me tell you, as a competitor, I personally think that there's nothing better than the after map 2 bathroom break. Personally, it's always a nice relief, especially when you're calming like crazy. You got to be drinking so much water.
You have
Your
to.
comms are going crazy. You're spitting out things rapid fire. You just got to drink as much water as you can, and you certainly need that bathroom break.
Exactly.
After map number 2. But anyways, we are going on to bot push. And we shall see what these teams cook up for us here. We're about ready to see the team compositions here in about 5 seconds. And I'm wondering if we'll see any surprises switching over from map 2. And I already see one for sure.
Yep.
We're going to see the Orisa for the side of Cardi. The Brigette as well on Sacknum. The rest looks pretty similar, but on Chauvin on the side of Eastern Kentucky. The Winston coming out as well as the Moira. I believe we have a little bit of a sub-in, sub-out situation here with Wambulance and Lamau Savvy. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think that those were the 2 players that we had originally.
I don't remember having them in there either myself. Maybe Savvy. Maybe Savvy was in there in game 1.
Now I feel bad because I don't remember, but I just don't recognize the name.
I think it's hard to kind of keep track with how intense these games have been. To be perfectly honest.
True, we're so worried about the action on the field. But nevertheless, robots unlocking here in about 3 seconds. And EKU have control of it to start. And this is really just, if you get it to the final point, you instantly win. But other than that, it's who got there farther with the allotted 10 minutes.
It's going to be real interesting to see EKU's strategy here. Because, I mean,
Mine too.
if we're going to be perfectly honest, this is very similar to the last game.
Yeah, I mean they've already found 3, and something that I think is very impressive is EKU's focus on just getting rid of the healers. Upending, I think, has been first blood on the side of Concordia every team fight that we've seen in this series since they made that switch.
I think you're right, but I think that's honestly probably their best idea they got. Because if you get rid of that healer, then okay, your tank is going to be more successful. Like, they're going to get damaged more, and they can't be healed.
Yeah, especially when you're using a main healer and then an off healer. I mean, no offense to Brigette, but I mean, she's got her abilities not heavily on the healing.
EKU's actually going to stop this distraction.
Yeah. And look at Cardi. Cardi goes
But
down.
I think just like
stacked
this,
up.
they're going to actually see if EKU can actually keep holding this contest right here. And actually get this checkpoint.
It's a battle so far. Trades are back and forth. Pinstripe kill feed.
EKU's actually going to go down in numbers here.
2v2 now. And it's pretty winnable. They
They
will.
want to back up a little bit,
Yeah, they will
which
have to back
is
up.
smart though.
I agree.
I mean, you've made a really good process at the beginning of this game. So I think you are fine with taking some time to step back for a second.
Ult economy is about even, all things considered. I will say, EKU certainly has a little bit more ult synergy than it would give to Concordia, only for the fact that Upending's ult is not super strong. That Mercy ult not super strong, especially when Chauvin goes out and finds 2, and he's chasing some more. Down goes Cassidy.
And there's 4 gone
Wow.
already for Concordia. EKU's actually going to take this trick.
Yeah, and so what's going to happen now is the spawn points are going to change, and this will give EKU lots of momentum. And note, however, they're not actually taking a lot of space yet. They're just kind of holding this cut because they know they can just continue to push right on up. It's Concordia. They have to make the play.
Yeah, EKU's in a fine spot, and they're just going to be comfortable where they are. I mean, why wouldn't you be in this situation?
Sombra through the back. She will get out. So Concordia does a good job of reclaiming some sort of space. And as you can see, the team is separated. Chauvin is going to pop his ult to make sure he stays alive.
Which I think that was a great idea by him.
Yeah, and he will get out successfully. Now it's a matter of fighting as a team. The hack comes through. Cardi's going to find 1. Torn on the trade. Upending, getting lit up. People find 2. Torn finds 2 with the absolute aimbot. 3 versus 3 now on the point.
Alright, EKU's going to have to take a little... They're going to have to step
They're
back
going to
for a
take
second.
a little retreat.
Which is totally fine. I mean, you made a really great process here. So you've got 6 minutes realistically to finish this game out.
6 minutes to finish and 6 minutes to really just hold Concordia to less than what you've got, 78.75 meters.
And you know, if I
1v1.
that was a great.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that
That
1v1 win.
That
Crazy.
was crazy. I was gonna say, if you're EKU here, maybe you let Concordia make a little bit of a push, because if you can completely team wipe, then you're actually gonna just put that bot on the complete other
Yeah,
side, and they're gonna have to
and-
make that process all the way back.
Yeah, and to talk about that real quick, obviously you've seen that the bot is pushing that little,
Exactly.
small wall. when that wall's not there, when you're going back through space you already claimed, bot moves twice as fast.
Okay.
So they're reclaiming so much space so fast.
And I think that, I mean, that's exactly what they did because they just pushed Concordia back, and now you see this bot all the way back at Concordia. So, I guess I know some strategy of this game. I played it too much.
I will say, EKU are doing kind of an interesting choice here. They're remaining separated. They're allowing themselves to be staggered, so that way Concordia cannot reclaim space. Ethan will find Azatov, will take down Chauvin, and this is certainly going to be a retreat moment for the Colonels. They're totally 3 down, 4 down. It's probably going to go 5 down here, but like you said, totally fine.
It's totally fun because, I mean, Concordia still has to make all this progress back.
Yep.
To even start making some more progress.
Yep.
And it lets EKU set up. And, I mean, EKU's about to have all their ults here, to be perfectly honest. So is Concordia. But I think, at the end of the day, I think EKU is showing dominance in just like this fight sequence. And I don't think EKU has too much to worry about, even if.
Oh, and that's a wasted ult from Ethan there. Doesn't get anything with the Cassidy ult. And you know something I do want to talk about is when you are at a deficit at this point in the game, you have to be more efficient with your ult economy.
Yes.
And right now, I mean, the Colonels, they can just throw out whatever they have to in order to stall. If you are Concordia, you have to make sure you're using your ults to your fullest, and right now they are not. Ethan's ult goes on deaf ears. And so far, I mean, EKU, they've done a good job of just stalling and staying up. They don't want to let Concordia get to this point, though, advance that spawn. And there comes the Sombra ult. That's going to disable a lot of abilities. Cardi ult comes in. That'll be 3 dropping for EKU.
Concordia's going to actually get this point right here.
Yes, they will. And they are closing in on the lead that EKU set up with 3 minutes left in the game.
So if you're EKU here, I mean, you've got to... I think you have to go back to your strategy you had at the very beginning of the game. Because at this point, you're even.
Yeah, get aggressive. Get aggressive. A Red's going to come in from upending.
And, you know, I think...
The Bastion's out.
Oh, it is.
As it's off.
I will say, we saw it at the very beginning of this round. Azatov was kind of playing his game, and he was playing behind. And he was playing as a little thorn on the side. And ever since they made that huge progress, he's not really...
I think, to be honest, I think what happened is I think Ethan, you know, his role as a McCree, as a Cassidy, is really one of its main, you know, characteristics is control the Tracer on the other team. And he's done a much better job of controlling Azatov, so Azatov just says, fine, you want to play that way? I'm going to play a different way. He come out, he's having a great impact now on this Bastion. Leads into 2 kills, making a 5 streak. And that's going to put EKU right back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and actually they're going to have 5 guys on this spot right here. And so they should make, the more guys you have, the more progress you're making, the quicker it's going to be. I'm assuming.
Yes.
So, I mean, EKU's going to take this lead back with about 2 minutes left here in this game.
Oh, here comes the ult. We'll find upending, and that is so huge, taking out the Mercy that fast. He's going to find another one. I mean, this guy is on fire.
And just like this, Azatov's back in the game. How he's been playing the last 2 games, and he's right back to it.
He is on fire right now. He cannot be stopped.
Oh my
on a
goodness.
10. And I mean, at this point, look at how much space EKU has. They're pushing them into their spawn. They've got everything working.
I think you can chalk this one up if I'm being perfectly honest.
I think so. The damage is coming out. I mean, as soon as they exit spawn, they're getting lit.
Right. Concordia's trying to make a stand here, and they might actually do it.
Yeah, 2 will fall for EKU.
But
3.
if you're also EKU here, you have a minute and a half to not let them push as far
Literally
as
just stall. It's literally just a matter of stalling. It's going to take them about, 15 seconds even to get back to where it started. And then it's gonna take them at least a minute to get there. This is gonna have to go to OT if Concordia want to take map number 3. As long as EKU just gets 1 good hold here, and look at the ult economy. I mean, Ethan has his, but this is strongly favored towards EKU. As soon as they get a little bit of damage in, they're gonna have 3 ults. Early damage going out, a minute on the clock, and I mean, look at this. Even with that ability to just, they can play back, they can play stay.
Yeah.
They're just going for it, and I like it.
I mean, you have to keep your aggressiveness because that's what EKU is making their game known to be. And it's like we said, like you have to stick to your game plan. That's what EKU do.
Here comes the Bastion ult. Will it land? Won't find anything exactly. Strategist is going to take down Chauvin. 30 seconds left on the clock. I mean, they're still stalling.
20 seconds left.
As the top on the flank.
If EKU can make a great stop right here and get a team wipe or even a couple more kills right here on this.
Yep.
It's gonna come down to the wire though, I think.
Yeah, and this is a good play right here. They know that they don't need to go out and single file line
They're
this.
gonna let everybody set up. And
Yep.
get
Let
prepared.
everyone get back in, and we have the Moira ult.
And now you're gonna be an OT right here. So EKU just gotta make sure they
Just
don't
get a
to where
wipe.
you were.
One wipe is all it'll take.
And I think
Here's the battle.
this right here.
As the top finds one, Chauvin finds the second.
And there's 3 from Azatov right there. And it's gonna be
Make
4.
it 4.
And it's gonna be a team
Give
wipe
it
right
to
here.
Azatov.
It's gonna be a
Team kill
team wipe.
for map number 3 victory.
That is crazy.
Wow, EKU. I mean, talk about it. And they slam dunk Azatov for play of the game.
Has to be, right?
It has to be. No one else does it like them. I mean, this was just nasty.
What a play.
This is right at the end, too.
Yes.
Finds one mid-air, slams down during the signal, finds it, takes down. I mean, a great play out of EKU. And that is going to wrap us up for week number 1, Overwatch.
That is crazy.
Wow.
And we kind of went into this not thinking it was going to be a sweep.
I certainly didn't think, I was confident, but I didn't think it was going to be a sweep, let alone like a sweep.
Yeah. Like, this wasn't just some normal sweep. This was complete dominance by
Like,
EKU.
game 1, maybe a little rocky, get the jitters out. It was kind of close. Game 2, not even a chance. And then game 3, I mean, they were in the driver's seat really until the end.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, this was just complete dominance by EKU. And the fact that they can show that in week 1 says a lot about this team.
Yep. And if I'm, the Overwatch, team, what I do is I take this game, review the VOD a little bit, make the tweaks that we need to, get back into that practice habit, whatever routine you've got. You come back next week, you come crush it.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
I think that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, as that is a wonderful, wonderful victory for the side of EKU Overwatch. I've been Alan. This has been Zach.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you all next time.
Yes, sir.